Alright, hello and welcome everybody back to the stream. I'm your SimCFI. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. We'll be flying this brand new updated Fenix A320 in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, as 24 has been giving me some problems recently, from Toronto to Montreal. It's going to be a evening departure, so we're going to show off to you the Winwing MCDU and FMS. As you can see them all nicely lit up here, and we'll also have a stick cam, a side stick camera when we have to go flying. Some quick disclaimers. I haven't flown 2020 in quite a while, so if GSX doesn't work, I haven't updated in a while. I don't think it's even installed / working. You're gonna see some stuff that won't be that great with my controls and all sorts of different stuff, but we do have chase plane working. But if you see anything that's kind of weird, that's I haven't touched 2020 in a long time. I'd like to take the time to thank all the channel partners. At the top right of your screen, the partners that we have at this channel, you can find discount codes for some of them down below. If you go check it out, you can save 10% on Contrail, 5% on Tobii Eye Tracker, and 5% on, or I think it might be 10% on ProDust. I forget how much it is, but you can save some money down below. We're running 2 streams today, both a vertical and a horizontal stream. And whoever is on both, if you guys can go ahead and press the like buttons and subscribe and do all that cool stuff you guys do, that'd be great. There's a Discord down below if you want to ask me questions. If you're brand new here and you don't know who I am, basically I'm a YouTuber online, but my day job is I fly the CRJ-900 for North American Airlines, so I am a real-world airline pilot, not in the 320. So if you want to know how to fly this plane like they would in real-world ops, yeah, I probably should go to like V1 simulations or something like that. But currently my TCA yoke is broken, so I'll be forced to be using side stick only airplanes, which in this case the only one I really have airliner wise is 320. So yeah, but when my new yoke comes in from Moza, we will be using that for sure. You guys can get the chat going as well. We'll say hi to everybody who's jumping on in. Don't be shy, feel free. We're going to jump into the flight deck here, and we're going to be doing A320 from Toronto, Montreal. And as you can see, the overhead panel is pretty much already set the way we need it to be set. Zoom up for the vertical, guys. Everything's powered on. We got the external power on. Our seatbelt signs are off currently. No smokings are. We'll throw those on. I don't know why there's an auto for that. There's never any smoking. And we're kind of just going to leave it like this for the time being. The next thing we're going to do is going to go our EFB on the side here. And we're going to go ahead and press My Flights. We'll import from SimBrief. That's fine. And we'll go Mass and Balance. We'll press Load Aircraft. I'm just going to do Instant because I don't really care to wait. And I don't have GSX working right now, or else I'd have them load the airplane, but we're just going to load it. We're going to keep it nice and simple as it's late. And we'll send to the MCDU as well. We'll have it all sent. Make it easy for us today. So, because we're on VATSIM, we don't have any ATC, but we'll dial in the CTAF frequency, which is 18.7. So in case there's anybody flying here, which is probably not this time, but we'll dial in 18.7. There we go. And we're going to get started on our MCDU work. Yannick, hey, welcome. Flying to your city again. Sweet, sweet. Thanks for stopping in, and thanks for commenting as well. We're going to give you guys the MCDU camera on the left side here. Bottom left of your screen. And we're going to go ahead and hit the ATSU menu. And AOC menu. Flight initialization. And the init data request, and it's going to fill in all our data there for us. Alright, we're going to press our, let's go back here real quick, and we're going to press, usually I'd get an ATIS, but, well, actually there's someone flying here, but there's probably no ATIS today, so, because there's no one on VATSIM. So we'll do Toronto, we'll get a METAR, and we'll send that off. We'll accept that load sheet as well while we're at it. And we're going to wait for our new message. Weather data. Alright, so it's sky clear, 24 Celsius, altimeter is 3005. We can go ahead and set that with our Winwing EFIS panels we have. So 3005 and 3005, and that puts our bottom one here at 3005 as well. Sweet. I just noticed the vertical stream has it blocked a little bit, so I'll do it like that, and I will save this view next time. Sweet. All right, so that's done. We'll press return. Actually, let me quickly take a look at the winds again. It's 3506. They're going to be using at nighttime. They probably use 33. That's the only time they really use 33s at nighttime. So we'll press init, request the data. JBS, hey, welcome. The IE sounds so good with the new sounds. Yeah, the new one sounds pretty good. I flew the IEs earlier in stream today. We did, what do we even do? New Orleans to Houston, and we did the IE engines. Now we're gonna be in the CFMs. Waiting for my training for VATSIM in YUL. I'll be able to welcome you to YUL. That'd be cool. Yeah, man. Let me know when you get that. That'd be pretty sweet. We're going to be a fake number today. I've actually operated this flight, not in a 320. It's an RJ flight at this time that leaves at midnight. I have done this late one before. I actually love the late flying. There's just no one there. Cost index of 5. Clear all these messages that are appearing. And our cruise altitude today is going to be 33,000. Awesome. Next page. We'll just fill this in. It should have been filled in from what I already had thought, because I pressed send to MCDU. But the block of 16.5, the OFP agrees. Nope. It's supposed to be 11.5. Go over here. Whoa. That was weird. Planned 11.4. We have 11.5 there, so I'm just gonna type into myself 11.5. There we go. Do it manually. On the vertical stream, we got Lane Aviation. Welcome. What A320 mod is this? This is just the Fenix A320. So if you own Microsoft 2020 or 2024. You can buy the A320 from the Fenix web shop on their website. Probably one of, if not the best A320 simulation out there, from what I've heard from 320 drivers and such. The FS Labs is very close. It just needs a bit more fine tuning. But the FS Labs is well on its way. A lot of cool things in that one. Not the Biffer. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for commenting as well, guys. We have 2 streams running. If you guys don't mind hitting the like button on the vertical and the horizontal streams. If you're on your phone, just double tap your screen. I really appreciate that. All right, we'll go over to the next page. That's all looking fine. We'll press flight plan, Toronto, and we're going to click departure. It's going to be off runway 33 right. And we're going to be taking off, or the dead key 5 departure, the Miglo transition. We'll go ahead and insert that. Then Montreal, arrival. Next page, we're not going to select an approach just yet, but we are going to click the arrival, which is HAB 7 via Miglo, and we'll insert that. Take a quick drink of water here. All right. Yeah, Lane. Lane, do you play Microsoft at all? I had to fly from... Wait for you to complete that sentence. Seeing how the FS Labs has been around about 10 years longer than the Fenix, you'd expect them to be better. Yeah, that's true, but that was a different sim. So I don't think they could have just easily ported it over. I could be wrong about that, but yeah. So you can see this is our departure heading at 237, and then it's a 2100 feet, then heading a 340, then as a discount towards Vivid on course, and this is where ATC would give you the clearance to go past that point. So why don't we go ahead and set our FCU up, which you can see at the bottom left corner of your screen as well. We'll set the speed up in a second. The heading's already set to managed, and then our altitude in Toronto up to 5,000 feet on the SID. What I'm going to go ahead and do is get the chart up and running on this guy as well. And let's see if I can sync route from SimBrief. Let's do Navigraph, it's better. And departure. Dead key 5 at 3-3 right? 3-5, 3-3, yeah, that's the one we want. Whoa, too much zoom. Alright, well, you can see that RFMS said heading of 237 to 2100 feet, then right turn 340, and that's what it says. Expect vectors to vivid. We don't have any vectors because no one's being ATC for us. Up to 5,000 has been set, and we're taking the Miglo transition. San Andreas are above 25,000. If we can't make it, we gotta let them know about that. We're gonna star that one, which I think I did. We're gonna unstar that. We'll go here. We're just sitting in the domestic gates. We're gonna push back, taxi Alpha Kilo Alpha, and then Delta short of 3-3 right. It'll be basically our taxi for today. A pretty quick taxi. We'll do night charts as well. That makes it a little bit easier and nicer to look at. Charlie 31, hey man, thanks for stopping by. I hope you are having a good night so far on the late night. I'm burning some late night oil here. Lane on the vertical stream says had to fly from KEUG, which I don't know what it is, to San Diego today. Probably the smoothest flight of my life. I usually fly MS 2020, but I hope to get 2024. Honestly, you're still good with 2020. 24 has been a little buggy for me recently. Not everybody has the same experience, but I've been having that experience. It's always been a rocky road to maintain it to work, if that makes sense. So don't feel like you're missing out on 24 at all. It honestly, 2020 is more than fine, in my opinion. Anyways, that's basically the entire programming there. Let's go to the overhead panel. We're going to start up our APU. Our GSX isn't installed right now, so we're going to say everybody's boarded and all that. So we'll go ahead and do seatbelts on as we're finished fueling as well. And because we've finished fueling, we're going to go ahead and turn the master switch for the APU. The performance I'm getting is wild right now in 2020. I don't know why I'm getting such great performance, but I am. And I'll press the start button. And we'll go outside. You guys can listen to it. Pretty awesome sounds, guys. I have done many walkarounds, obviously not on the 320 as I fly the CRJ, but I've done many walkarounds in real world around my RJ and hearing some APUs in my life, and that sounds pretty deafening, and that's basically what you get from it. It's just a deafening roar. So that sounds pretty awesome. In the chat, Charlie 31 says, how's the update treating? It's been pretty good. 24 had a couple lag spikes here and there, but CST and Owl said to uninstall it completely and reinstall it, so I'll try that. But 2020 so far is running amazingly. Just finishing up work. Nice. Yeah, good to just unwind. Dex says, hello again, how's it going? Yeah, not well, not bad. You can see it's late, I'm tired. That's gonna be one of the thoughts today. I hope you're doing okay. Jenna Cooper says, start up from the cabin sounds so good. Yeah, it's probably good from back there too. Speaking of that, I don't think I actually have, all right, yeah, let me make some views back here, because again, guys, I've been flying 24 a lot, and my 2020 views haven't saved. So let me quickly make a couple of these. Just so we have them for the replay after. We'll make some more on the way, but we'll have this for the time being. Anyways, the APU is online. We can go ahead and throw all the fuel pumps on. Go ahead and throw the APU bleed on. If you guys have any questions, by the way, I don't fly the 320, but I am a rural airline pilot. So if you have questions on, you know, what is bleed air, how does it work, just like the simple stuff you guys want to have questions on, or is there something I say that you don't understand, leave a comment down below, and if I can answer it, I'll let you know. And I'll try to find the answer for you if I can't answer it. Anyways, the electrical loads have been taken over the APU. The bleed I can hear is rushing in from the APU from earlier. Actually, we had the air connected outside anyways, but the bleed's been selected on. The external power can be deselected as the APU is taken over that power. And we'll go over here to our iPad. And because our APU is running, which is our third jet engine that provides electrics and air, just no thrust, we can get rid of the ground electrical power and the ground air. We don't need those anymore, because now this unit back here is providing all that for us. We'll get rid of the chocks as well, and we're basically good to push for the most part. Let's go ahead and just get our departure numbers ready to go, and we will be out of here. So we're departing runway 33 right. We'll sync the load sheet. Optimum flap, no force toga, anti-ice is off, don't need that, packs are on. Takeoff weight 139,000 pounds. We'll sync the weather, we'll press calculate. You got a V1 150, a VR 150, a V2 150. That's strange that they're all the same. V1 rotate, V2. that's usually the V2 is different by at least a knot, but whatever. Flap 1 for the takeoff with a nose down of 0.4, a flex of 66. Let me go ahead and bring the FMS up for you guys, and we're going to dial this in all together here. So we're going to press perf. Hopefully you can see it. It's got 150. 150, 150. We got a flap 1 of nose down trim, 0.4. And then we have a no shift flex temp of 66. And the acceleration height of 2050. Engine out is 2050. Put that in there. Our thrust reduction is 2050, 2050, so 2050 slash 2050, bottom left corner. There we go. So that's all been entered. You can honestly just hit send to MCDU, but because I'm using the Winwing MCDU, I just like to type it. You know, you got it there. Obviously, you can just press send to MCDU, and it's all done for you. Anyways, that's pretty much it. We're about to push back, so we'll go ahead and throw our beacon on. And those can stay off. Our navs are already on. We'll go ahead and come up here and turn our transponder to the auto position. So we're squawking on mode Charlie, which technically is fake. Real airliners actually squawk in mode S. And that's what allows the transponder to use TCAS, is mode S. Alright, so because my GSX isn't going to work today, I'm going to go ahead and push back with the built-in pushbacker, but I'll just quickly read your comments and then we're going to get going. Javis is going to be taking a weekend down in Virginia, October during peak colors. Best way to get down there is with Endeavor. Haven't flown in the CRJ since before the pandemic, so about time. Yeah, man, I hope you appreciate it. If it's a 900, it'll be a bit of a firm landing, but that's how the 900 lands. If they grease at 900, you're in really good hands. It's quite difficult to grease a 900 without... You either grease it without knowing how you did it, or you know how you do it, and you've just been doing it a long time. Can you explain why it takes like 7 minutes for the IRS to align? So I can't explain why it takes that long, but I can explain what they are. And basically what it is there's three, in this case, laser gyroscopes. They used to be all mechanical, but there's 3 laser gyroscopes, and gyroscopes are obviously spinning very quickly. And once it gets your position inserted into its brain, it has to align itself in the, I guess, in space, you know, to where you are. And then once it knows where you are, again, I can't say why it takes that long, but once it knows where you are, if you'd had no GPS at all, the IRS would use time and acceleration of the airplane to determine where you are. So let's say we started here, and then we start, magically flying at 200 knots. It's going to take the time that you started flying and how fast you're going, and say you're probably here. It's always predicting. And then back then in the old days, you'd have to constantly update, and it would be an INS back then with a VOR or something else. Nowadays the GPS will always back up your IRS, so you don't really have any IRS drift anymore. If your GPS fails mid-flight, you're still can navigate, but you might be prone to some IRS drift, because now it's just saying we think you're over here based on how fast you've been flying for how long. And that's kind of how that works. That's a good question, Shaq. Thanks for answering that. On the vertical stream, Lane says KEUG is Eugene Airport. Not really know. Yeah, I actually don't know that one. It's not really known that well. Yeah, I never even heard of that one. All right, well, let's go get Pushback here. So we'll go Fenix and connect the tug. It's kind of a nice little animation they got going on for themselves. Let's do my last little thing. It's more of an RJ check, but we have, you know, I think I already gave you the departure briefing, but it's basically straight ahead, then right turn 340 after 2,100 feet. All the instruments, everything's been set up to 5,000. That's all looking great. And yeah, we should be good to go. We'll park and break off. Our messages will all look fine as well. We'll get the company message shortly. So we're going to press back. And I guess I press... Oh, all right. Connect the tug. Back. There we go. All right. So I'll give you some wing views as well once we start our engines up. Hopefully the sounds are all good. We picked up some subscribers. I really appreciate you guys all subscribing. I think we gained already 5 today. And that's the subscriber counts at the bottom right corner of your screen. Really appreciate that. And whoever's a member as well, I really appreciate you guys becoming members. So usually on these types of pushbacks, I don't know about a 320, but at least in the CRJ, we don't really start the engines if they're going to start turning us like this. Usually the pushback crew only lets us start our engines if we're pushing straight back, and that's it. Or they'll just have us stopped. So in these turns that we're about to do, they usually don't have us, start our engines up. I don't know why it stopped. Oh, there's another tug coming. Go left. There we go. I'm just going to spin myself around. We'll face that way. We'll kind of have to do this ourselves. Back. Anyways, in today's stream, we're going to get it started here, and I'll just stop the tug in a second. We're going to go receive messages, get rid of all this, load sheet. All right, so unlike the RJ, where there's a certain RPM or a certain N2 value and a certain temp and all that, you have to add fuel. And I believe in the 320, you can just go start and add fuel, or in its computer brain, add fuel. So we're going to push back a little bit more. We're going to press our engine, I guess, mode selector. I don't know what they would call it, ignition selector. We'll press it over to start. You'll hear the packs drop off. All the air conditioning drops off in a second. Unless it already happened, but you should hear a less rush of air sound. And then we'll click engine number 1. This will be fine. I'll just turn around. Not that loud, but that's okay. Oh, you know, on the wrong side. I usually start number 2 first in the airjet, that's why. There, I'll make that one of the views as well. We'll have that for later. All right, number 1 is all stable. Let's go and start number 2. Appreciate all you guys on the vertical stream watching. If you don't mind hitting the subscribe button as well. We're trying to reach 7,000 by the end of the end of the summer. Every like button always helps as well. Enjoy the sounds, guys. I'll put it up a little bit for you. All right, not that loud. I might have a setting. Let's see why they're not that loud. They should be. Anyways, maybe it's just not that loud of an engine. I have flown on these quite a bit when I'm deadheading for work. They are usually louder than that, but anyways. Both engines are online and have taken over the load from the APU, so we can go ahead and turn the APU bleed off. We can also go ahead, you can see the packs are transferring over to the engines. There they go. APU master can be turned off. There's no one to give us a clearance here, so I'm just going to throw the tax light on immediately. And we're also going to go ahead and throw on the logo as it's nighttime. So that's pretty much it for the overhead panel. Coming down here, we're going to set our auto brakes to the max position. Further down, we're going to set our flaps to the 1 position, as that was what's given to us for takeoff. We'll arm the spoiler in case for a rejected takeoff. And we'll go flight control. They want a -4, or nose down 4. Let's go one more up. There we go. And that's been set right there. Awesome. Let's go back here. We'll press it to number 2. And all we're basically waiting for now, guys, is the cabin ready. Obviously, we can taxi during that. We don't have to wait for them. We'll get these predictive wind shears. I don't know when they actually use these, if it's just prior to the runway or if they do it while, you know, just after pushback. I'm assuming they would have it on near the runway, but I could be wrong. All right, really quickly, just gonna lock my office chair wheels and we'll start taxiing. All right, office chair wheels have been locked in position. The parking brake is off. We're going to go and add some thrust. Now, I'm not using Tobii Eye Tracker right now, guys, but I do have Tobii Eye Tracker. I haven't set it up for 2020 at all, so that's why I'm not using it. But Tobii Eye Tracker, if you are interested in buying one, I do have a discount code down in the description below. So if you wanted to ever buy one, you can save some money by using the code down below. I'm not going to give a VATSIM call as an uncontrolled airport. I don't know what VATSIM rules are on that, but in real life, an uncontrolled airport, you can technically not have a radio. So I'm just going to taxi to runway 33 right, and if I see a person, I'm not going to hit the person. And it's on the ground, so it should be relatively easy to do that. In the vertical stream, Owen Air 747, does the CRJ-V2 automatically update in 2020? I'm getting back into simming, and I don't know how the gadgets and doohickeys work anymore. If you bought it from the marketplace, it might auto update. I could be wrong about that. Your best bet, what to do, is completely uninstall it and then just reinstall it, and it should update. It should install to the newest version, is what I would do. Thanks for asking the question, though. I'll take this left turn on Alpha. Now, in real life, I've only used 33 right in my 2 years of flying out of Pearson at maybe twice for takeoff. It's very rare. Even when the winds are favoring 33, they don't care. They don't use it. They'd rather use the 3 runways. But I have used it for this exact flight. Not in this airplane, but for this exact flight, I have used 3-3 before. So we've got a cabin ready signal. Our flaps are set to 1, spoilers armed, auto brakes max. Takeoff config's okay. Basically ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and click constraints on. I'll bring all the cameras up so you can see. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. There we go. Going a little quick, but not too bad actually. We're only going 20. That's fine. VATSIM uses CTAF in USA, Canada, Mexico, and Caribbean, and Unicom everywhere else in HC isn't online. Yeah, I'm using CTAF right now, but to CTAF to me is just a it's just a reporting frequency like you would at an uncontrolled airport. And you know, those airports still have a frequency, but you can technically go into those airports if they're even without a radio, unless it's a MF, which is a mandatory frequency rate airport. There's Victor. We take the next right turn at Delta. But taxiing, I mean, honestly, a taxi clear or a taxi call is useless. If I say I'm going to this runway, this taxiways, no one's gonna look up the taxiways that I'm using to go. At least in my opinion, I'm not gonna look it up if you told me where you're going. Like, I'm not gonna care. What I am gonna say is short of and takeoff instructions is where I'm more gonna care, if that makes sense. You told me you're taxiing 15 left via this. I'm not gonna look that up. I'm just gonna not hit you, if that makes sense. All right, well, we're clear on the left and we're clear on the right. We'll go ahead and just look on this side here as well to make sure. Pearson traffic, Air Canada 1333, lining up runway 33 right. It's going to be an eastbound departure, direct Vivet. All right, no one here to clear us for takeoff, so we're just going to go ahead and throw these lights on by ourselves. Throw the wings on as well, why not? Yeah, he's turning final. Yeah, more than enough time for him. Thanks for keeping an eye on it, though. Roger, I'll do that. I'm getting my CL65 type now. 294 on Twitch told me about your channel and all your V2 coverage got me wanting to try it. Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, I got my CL65 currently. Are you in Canada or States? It's good for, yeah, it is good for procedure practice. All you can really do is A to B stuff for the most part. However, if you get a tool called, like some of those flight instructor stations, you can do V1 cuts. I do practice those when I have my 6-month sim coming up. Anyways, guys, if you have them, put your flex emojis in chat. There's 2 clicks. Man flex SRS runways blue. And auto thrust is armed. Pretty cool sounds, guys. 80 was checked. Try in VR. I love VR. Dude, I play VR all the time. Not in Microsoft, mainly in DCS. Got a takeoff inhibit. I don't know why that's there, but we're just gonna keep going. G1 rotate. Gear up. And now once the airplane passes 2,050 feet, you'll get the climb icon in the top left of the PFD there. Here it comes another 100 feet or so. There's the right turn 340. There it is, climb. We're going to click once down into the climb detent as best I can. There we go. Sometimes my joystick isn't the most aligned with where it has to be. And we're going to go ahead and select Autopilot 2. And at this point, we'd go ahead and say, oh, you know what? Maybe that's why I didn't have my TCAS and stuff on. I did forget that. We'll throw that on there. I don't think that would enable or disable a takeoff inhibit, though. Anyways, we'll go flaps and slats up. And I'd say departures, Air Canada 1333, 3,000, climbing 5,000. And they'd come back and say, Air Canada 1333, climb maintain 7,000, direct Vivet on course. And so we've set 7,000s in there. Vivet, we'll go on the FMS, press direct Vivet. Look at the screen there. That looks good. We'll execute that. And we're in nav mode climb. We are on our way. Expand that scale a little bit there. Not the before. I love supporting small flight streamers. Hey man, thanks. I really appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by. You're in the States, Honor? Or ONR? Well, if you like, I have my Discord down below. Feel free to send me a message if you get on the RJ or whatever, challenge or whatever. Let me know how it goes. If you're flying the 900, I'm going to tell you right now, the 900 flies ridiculously different than the sim they train you on, and the landing is one of the weirdest airplanes you'll find to land. That's what I've heard from a lot of people, and it's my experience as well. So I'll tell anybody who gets on the 900, it is a weird airplane to land. I know a buddy actually that passed, did the whole instructor route, passed all the sims, And then on line of dock, they actually got let go because they just couldn't land the thing. The 900 is a super weird airplane to land. After this turn, we'll let the belts go. It's going to be super smooth tonight. Pearson traffic's Air Canada 1353, 10 miles to the east, 6,000, correction 7,000, climbing flight level 300. We're going to be southeast bound, direct Montreal. Last call. There comes that right turn, super smooth as it always is at nighttime, or it's how it should be at least. There are night flights. If you guys ever fly in real life, if you fly at night, it'll be always the most smooth as glass flight you'll have. Do you use SimBrief, and if so, is it free? Yes, I do use SimBrief, and it is free. SimBrief is an awesome simulation tool. It's really great. Sorry, JBS, I mentioned your comments there. Is 789 turning final? CFMs are nice, but the bus, yeah, the IE sound awesome. Did you push the takeoff config button? I thought I did, but maybe not. That's probably what it was. I'm not the most Airbusy guy ever. Do you use a Pimax for VR? Yes, I have the Pimax Crystal Light is what I use. All right, we're finished that turn. We'll go ahead and turn the, can't even see, turn the seatbelt signs off. It can start getting up there. Let's go ahead and put our brightness of that up a little bit more. And it's 10,000. We'll go lights up, lights out. It's hard to do this. Pressurization, we'll check that in a second. Wings can come off. Logo can go to on, or logo can stay on. That's all fine. Our pressurization shouldn't have gone to a different screen. Alright, well anyways, I can get it myself. Like, oh, it is it here? No, I thought it has a separate, I thought the 320 went into a different screen. That's okay. Pressurization. So it's climbing at 500 a minute, it's pressurizing, and we're currently cabling out to 2,500. So that's all been checked, and that is looking great. Belts are off. We're looking good. Yeah, Lane Aviation, if you don't use SimBrief, I don't know why you wouldn't. SimBrief is awesome. So yeah, I definitely would use it for obviously your simulation flights. Don't use it for real world flights, but it's definitely an amazing tool. Do you need navigation account or a Navigraph account to use SimBrief? I believe Navigraph, one of them owns each other. I forget which one owns which one, but whenever you sign up for SimBrief, it'll just walk you through what to sign up for, and you'll have basically both of them. And it lets you access all the cool charts and all that kind of stuff that I'm using here. So here we are in the Dead Key 5 departure, Duvac. Now we're going to Dead Key and then exiting through Miglo. Oh, that's what I forgot. I'm sure that's supposed to be put on a different screen. I forgot the starter on the ignition / start. So we'll just say that it was heavy precip and I needed ignition. There you go. It's not going to break the engine. As you use ignition, same as the RJ, you'd use ignition for a really heavy precip. If you have a really strong crosswind at a very distinct angle and you're scared of your engines getting blown out from the back, throw the ignition on, keep igniting. Birds in the vicinity, you know, high flock of birds, throw the ignition on, that kind of stuff. Just keeps the engine igniters going in case your candle gets blown out. The igniter is there to relight it, if that makes sense. Lane says, do you need a Navigraph? Oh, I already wrote it, sorry. Robert, welcome. Jazz 8747. Yeah. I've actually done this flight before. This is basically the time we would take off for the most part. Usually we're delayed due to connections. Everything's looking pretty good. It's an Airbus, right? It's going to do everything pretty much for you, so that's nice. We'll put the train on ground. I don't really need it. I mean, it's all flat. I've flown this route a million times, but we'll throw it on. Why not? This transition, we're going to go ahead and pull our barrel knobs there, and we're just going to press it there. Standard altimeter. Mr. Owls, hey, welcome. Welcome to the late night stream with Jimmy Fallon. I'm joking. Guys, if you don't know who Owls is, then you don't watch enough flight sim content. He just actually finished streaming, and he might still be streaming, to be honest. Owl streams all the time, but he was streaming 320 series, or maybe the 19 actually was, in 2024, with a full walk around and clicking all the panels and that cool stuff. So if you guys want to see the BFU update at its best, Owl's definitely a good choice for that one. Thanks for stopping by. Owen says, on the vertical says, I've heard the sim and the 900 could basically be two different airframes. Yeah, I'm primarily on the 900, although the occasional 7 is possible. I'm hoping the transition doesn't get me bad. I think you'll be fine. The sim in, so I worked heavily, worked heavily with the devs to make the flight model for the 900, and then they kind of interpolated the data to the rest of the airplanes. The 900 with a yoke is basically as close they could possibly get the sim. It's still obviously going to be like a 60%. You know, I think actually I think Microsoft flies better than the real one, better than the real sim. The real sim is way too sensitive, at least the ones we train on. But yeah, so it's as close we can possibly get it. But the sim, Owen, is very good, as you know, for procedures and flows and all that kind of stuff. You know, so it's really good to practice engine outs. I love doing that, especially if you can get someone over to act as PM or PF. Makes it even better. Yeah, no worries, Owls. I think like other than Flight Sim Gaming was the one that told me to start streaming, but Owls, I remember watching one of his lives. He was in an RJ. I just landed from I think we were in Philly. I was in a hotel, bored out of my mind, and I'm like, you know what, let's, you know, I did a lot of flight simming before. I have over 12 years, and I did mainly DCS for 8 to 10 years, and I kind of fell out of P3D and all that. It was kind of like that P3D version 4 era when there was no Microsoft Flight Sim, and I kind of just fell out of it, and PMG's charging to upgrade planes and all this. I'm like, whatever. So I did a lot of DCS, and then I watched Owls' video on the RJ, and then I went home and installed the sim and got it working again. Because I already had the RJ in 2020, but the RJ when it first came out, and when 2020 first came out, it was pretty garbage. But when I watched Owls, I'm like, oh, it actually looks pretty good. So I reinstalled it and got the channel to where it is now. So Owls and Flight Sim Gaming and all the people I know, CST and Captain Jack, definitely have a big part in playing of why I make content. It may not be the best content, but hopefully the knowledge and stuff you've learned from it, especially the CRJ streams, as I'm just having fun here, hopefully you can take them into your simulations and use them and make you a bit more accurate, if that's your goal. But people don't have to use what I teach. They can do whatever they like. I don't know everything, and I'm probably wrong in some stuff I say as well. But if people do, then awesome. That was kind of why I did it. What would your dream plane be? Concorde. 1,000,000% the Concorde. Gabriel, welcome. How are you doing, my friend, on the vertical stream? Yeah, 100% Duck is the Concorde. I flew the FS Labs Concorde like religiously. I even had the Concorde physical FS Labs manual that I would take to school. And I remember in grade 11, while everyone's flying, like, or not flying, when everyone's reading Shakespeare, I think it was Othello, which I just like the worst book in the world for me to read. I'm not a book person. Anyways, they're reading that, and I'm reading the Concorde manual, and I'd look at, I'd find the answers later to all their dumb questions about Othello. So I'm just sitting there learning about INS systems and how to align it. Thanks for the sub, guys. We've gained, I think, already 10 so far this stream. It's literally 1 a.m. How are you streaming? How am I streaming? I'll answer that question. The reason is, for the last, like, 2 pairings, I would operate a flight to Gander at, like, basically landing at midnight, and then have to wake up the next, like, you'd have a whole day, and then the next day you'd have to wake up at 1:30 my time, Eastern time, to then operate the, it'd be 3 a.m. for me, but 5 a.m. time for Gander flight back. So my sleep schedule is screwed, and I'm like, you know what, I'm awake. I watched my second last episode of Squid Games with my girlfriend. Let's just go stream. It was this or Battlefront 2, and I'm taking a break from Battlefront 2 because I'm trying to get Owls and other people in it, but no one wants to play with me. So I just said, you know what, we'll stream. Why not? give you guys some other views here. We're gonna start prepping our arrival stuff here shortly. Wonder if I can lower these cabin lights. You guys would know this more than I would. Cabin lights. Where would I put the cabin lights? Airframe? Alright, call it units. Nope, cabin lights. There we go. Ah, much better. Now people can sleep. Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and get our weather for Montreal. Atsu AOC. Now, if there was people on VATSIM, you can click ATIS and then grab the ATIS via VATSIM, but there's no one in Montreal, so we're going to click weather. Weather request. And CYUL. I'm doing this, by the way, with the Winwing MCDU. That's how I'm typing all this stuff in. We'll say yes to the METAR, which is the current on-the-hour reported weather. And we'll press message. Oh, nothing there yet. Return, return. Received messages, weather data. Montreal. 31 at 10, so the 2-4s are in use. 5 knots, 50 mile, broken 15, 23, 2997. Let's go ahead and set our standby altimeter to 2997. As this does not affect RVSM and or autopilot. There we go. I don't know if in the RJ we do that. I don't know if they do that in the Airbus, but anyways, that's all been set. Now what I like to do, a little trick I like to do, I don't know if it's a trick, but in the sim at least, because I can't print my weather, is MCDU menu, Atsu, throw the weather up on this side, go back to this side and press perf. And now, next phase, bring up the camera so you guys can see me typing all this stuff in. Next phase, now I can just copy it over by looking at the left on the FMS over there, which I have an ultra-wide monitor, so you might not be able to see it, but it's on my left side there. The QNH is 2997. The barrel I'll type in short, I think it's like 305, but I won't do it from memory, obviously. We'll look it up later. 23 degrees. And magnetic wind of 310/5 knots. Super, super light wind. Throw that in there. Alright, we'll leave that for the time being. Looks like we've leveled off at 30,000 feet, and at top of climb we were supposed to be at top of climb is 7,700 pounds with a min of 62. We're at 8,300 pounds, so we're about 500 above min. Sorry, 500 above planned. So we're laughing on fuel. We're doing just fine. And we've also climbed up here super early. Yeah, this thing was a rocket ship, man. We're supposed to do an 18-minute climb up here. We did it in just, I started that late, so probably 13, 14 minutes. So yeah, super early on that climb. Well, we're looking good on fuel. Where's the non-vertical stream? Oh, I just clicked the channel, Owen, and if you could press live on the channel, there should be 2. You know, I can just post it in the chat here for you. There you go. Click that, and that'll bring it to you. Alright, let's go over here again, and we're going to press, what is it? In it. Next page. You got a zero fuel weight of 128.1. We'll call it 128. And our landing predicted fuel on board at Montreal is going to be 7,000. No way. We're only going to burn 1,200 pounds from now to there. This is in pounds, right? Yeah, it's in pounds. All right, well, I have a hard time believing we're only going to burn 1,000 pounds. What does the flight plan say? The flight plan says Montreal's predicting 61. We're going to call it 60. I guess it's not that far off because we are higher on fuel. All right, we'll use 7,000. Plug an approach in there. We'll add up an extra. Call it, so yeah. So we'll use 67. So 128 plus 67 is going to be our predicted landing weight. 128.1 plus 6.7, 134.8. So we'll go over here and arrival procedure, runway 24 right. Unless you guys want to see an RNAV. If you guys want to see an RNAV, let me know right now and I'll do 24 left. I can do 24 right as well, actually. But anyways, the wind, can we apply the METAR? There we go, sweet. Go auto brake medium. And our, where's my landing weight? I swear I have to put it in here. There it is. Landing weight is 134.8. Awesome. That's in meters, which is kind of weird. I like feet, but whatever. Yeah, I'd like feet. But anyways, that's not that much runway. Let's go low. That's better because we're gonna exit Bravo 2, I believe, from memory, and we'll take off a left there. Go to the parking. And you head to bed. Have a good stream and safe landing. Thanks, Gabriel. Have a good night. I think I might be going to Newark next month, so I'll let you know. I'm pretty sure I am though. Can the 737 Max fly for 10 hours? If you strip everything inside of it and just, you know, 2 pilots, it probably can just, you know, last 10 hours on fumes. I have no idea. Not too sure about that one. Let's go in here. We're going to press our perf button. Next phase, next phase, next phase. I'm going to get the approach played out very quickly, and I'll give you guys a brief here. We just punch all the numbers that I got to punch. If you guys want to see, you know what? I'm going to start a poll in the chat. I'm going to start a poll. If you guys want to see RNAV or ILS, up to you guys. In the horizontal stream, guys, you guys click. I'll do one in the vertical stream as well. All right, cast your answers, and we'll do about maybe 2 minutes or so. You guys want to see an RNAV approach and or an ILS approach, and then we're going to fill in our little arrival information. In the time being, I will give you guys the brief portion of the star, and we will continue onwards after I'm done with this. It's basically simple, though. We're doing the HAB 7. It's going to be runway 24 right. Using the RJ to give us 2 for left, but 2 for right will give us in the 320 probably. And so we'll follow all the restrictions en route, and then it brings us out over to OV, which is a vectored open star, and we'll get vectored over to 2 for right. Safe altitude within 100 miles is 7,400 feet. I believe it's the terrain down here is what causes that, so it's not actually anything near Montreal. But anyways, that's basically the briefing. So what does the poll say here? End the poll. The vertical stream had no one answer, and we'll end the poll. And looks like 100% of people wanted the RNAV. So we'll do the RNAV approach for you guys. And let's go ahead and choose the RNAV 24 right. We'll choose the Zulu most likely, as we don't really need. What's the X right here? Yeah, let's just do the Zulu. There's no point to the X. It's fine. Basically, let's get this plugged in first. Actually, then we'll go through it. So the LPV is what we're going to be doing. The LPV is 306. If you guys don't know what LPV is, by the way, I'll let you guys know what it is if you'd like. But anyways, there you go. LPV of 306 is the MDA. If you guys don't care, then I just don't talk, and I'll leave it to you guys if you want to find out or not. Flight plan, YYZ-YUL, arrival. Gonna be the RNAV Zulu. 24 right, and the transition is Miglo. We'll insert that, and we're gonna go and press our heading mode, insert nav mode, make sure it all looks good, sweet, and we are on our way. So I'll give you a quick brief. Again, we're doing that HAB 7 arrival, then we're going to be taking the visual backed up by the RNAV Zulu runway 24 right, page 11, correction 12-7, effective 25th of January. We'll check the WASP channel shortly. Final port course at 237 with the glide path check Volux 1570, correction 1500. I'm used to Toronto. LPV and MDA of 306 set right and left. MSA is based off runway 2 for right, 2600. The missed approach is runway heading 3000, then right turn direct YUL VOR. No pappies because I can't afford them. Then SS ALR type lighting down to 306 feet, and we'll be exiting left on Bravo 2 most likely. We can't make that. Bravo 4, and we'll be taxiing left. Let's see here. Get situated. Yeah, go down Bravo 4, cross Charlie there into the ramp, and park somewhere down over there. In case of a missed approach, we hide this chart. We will be roughly landing with 6.4 on board. Our minimum at Montreal is 46. So we'll have 1,800 pounds of extra fuel in the mist. If it's very quick and it's just unstable or whatever, we can come back around and try another landing with 18, what is it? 1,800 pounds of fuel. We can come around and try again. But if the airport closes and or we're going to get put in a hold, we'll just go over to the alternate, which is Ottawa, and we'll just be fuel limited at that point. So yeah, depending what happens on the mist, whatever the reason is, we can choose to come around. We'll have another try, just one more try left in us. Jupiter says, hello, I'm new here. What is this? Flight simulation? What? I purchased all that hardware? Yeah, that's a lot of questions. Well, first of all, thanks for joining. My name is your Sim CFI, which is your simulator flight instructor. A little bit about me: I've been simming for 12 years, flight simming that is, and I've also was a flight instructor in real life, and now fly for North American airline on the CRJ 900. So I don't fly this airplane that you're looking at in the stream, but I fly a lawn dart with engines on it. So that's the first part. Second part is what is this? This is Flight Simulator. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. You can download / purchase this on the Microsoft Store, but I recommend you buy it on Steam. And then the other part is where do you buy all the hardware. All this hardware here, what you see here, is from a company called Winwing, W-I-N, and then wing, like a chicken wing, W-I-N-G. They are destroying the market with how amazing and cost effective, not cheap, but you know, they're very good products for how little money you got to spend. If you wanted one of these, an FMS or a MCDU, whatever you want to call it, beforehand, would have cost you easy $700. You can get an MCDU now for about $150. Same with the entire autopilot panel. You can get this entire panel, I believe, for $300 US, if I'm not mistaken. So Winwing is the company. Check out PU Air Korea as well. This stick is not a lot of people have this stick that's going to be on your bottom right corner here. This is a Virpil Mongoose grip with a Warbird base. This is more for DCS, so I wouldn't recommend this for Microsoft. It still works perfectly fine, but it's overkill. You don't need to spend $700 on a stick. I would get the Winwing Ursa Minor or the Moza if you want the force feedback. But thanks for joining. Hopefully you subscribe, and if you have any questions on especially the CRJ or flight simming in general, join the Discord, or you can ask here, and I'll be sure to answer whatever you got. Duck. Oh, we're back to the message there. Yeah, we're doing RNAV. RNAV in this is not really that bad. I mean, it does it basically for you. Oh, and when you get on the RJ, the RNAVs in those they're SCDAs, because most of them don't have LPV capability, and we're just using vertical speed. It's an LNAV only approach. They get a little spicy sometimes, but all right. Well, looking at that star, the bottom's out basically at 4,000 or 3,000 feet at the end at OV there. So we're just going to select our alt selector to 3,000. We are flying on VATSIM, however, there's absolutely nobody flying this late, so I'm just going to clear myself down to 3. You can see this arrow right here. Oh, we'll go one more. Is our top of descent. So I don't know if this is what they do, but in what I do in the sim is I go ahead and bring this to the lowest range. I wait for that top of descent arrow to hit my 2.5, and then I click my autopilot button, or sorry, my altitude knob button inwards for managed descent, which is basically VNAV in other aircraft terms. How hard was it to get all your license from PPL, a flight instructor, and did you find it hard finding your first airline job? So from PPL, I found will be, for most people as included, as well as my students that I taught later, is probably one of the hardest licenses. And it's not because it's an actual hard license to get, it's just that everything's new. So we're coming up, we'll continue that in a second. We're just coming up on that 2.5, and we're going to go ahead and click our altitude knob in. 3, 2, 1, manage descent. Or not. Doesn't want to do it. What did I screw up? Well, we'll go. There we go. Pull out and push in. I guess that works. Anyways, so now we're on the top of descent. You'll see this green dot that went all the way up. It's only going to descend at 1,000 a minute, and eventually this dot is going to start coming down for our VNAV path, and once it captures it, it will fly on the path. Really quickly, I'd like to descend a little faster than this if possible. There we go. That's a descent speed. Alright, none of this 250 garbage. Keep it like an RJ, keep it quick. RJ, actually, we do 3,000 people per minute at 290. Anyways, continue my story. The PPL is usually the hardest license for people to get just because it's brand new to you. The sights, the sounds, the regulations, the actual flying of the airplane is different than the sim, all that stuff. Then once you get your, you get about 100 hours, and you start working on your commercial license. The commercial flight test I found quite easy, to be honest, just because it's like the PPL flight test with a bit more stuff thrown in there. But because you've been flying the plane so much and getting used to your airplane, I just found it easier naturally. At least I did personally. I don't know if everybody else feels like that. Then what's next was I did the multi-IFR. Multi I found pretty simple as well. It's about 7 to 8 hours, I believe, somewhere around there to get my multi-check. And then once you do that, I did my IFR in a multi as well, which I loved IFR. All your sim guys, there's going to be differences, of course, but the sim is probably the best for helping with IFR. Really, really good stuff with the sim. Then I became an instructor. The instructing, the hardest part about the instructor, other than the flying part where you're flying from the right side and you got to get used to that, the hardest part about the instructor rating was taking yourself back to zero. I teach, if you go to teach turns and you're like, yeah, just, turn the other ones over here, you haven't taught that student first lookout, how to look out, where to look out. Right, you start to do all these things subconsciously, you don't really notice. So that was the hardest thing about the instructor rating, is taking yourself back to zero. And if I say, yeah, bring the flaps up, what are flaps? Where is the handle? What do flaps do? Right, so it's all about what else. Diving in every sentence you say. There's probably a word in there that the student has absolutely no idea of what you're talking about. So that was the hardest thing about the actual getting the rating. Then the hard thing about instructing was, and you get used to it, but knowing when and where, notice this green dot coming down for our VNAV path, so our descent rate's going to start to increase, but knowing when to intervene and knowing when to just let the students screw up and figure out for themselves and find out how not to, how not to do that next time. You get very comfortable at it, and I'd start doing, once you get really comfortable at it, you're doing discovery flights and letting the person take off. I would just do the rudders and have the person take off on a discovery flight, and you get very comfortable with yourself. Finding the first airline job, I was very fortunate to go to a college, and then the college that I graduated from hired me an instructor after COVID, because I graduated before COVID started, and then COVID happened, and it made everything a mess. But anyways, after COVID, I instructed, and then because of COVID, there was a massive hiring that was going on. So I got to the airline within a year. That's not the story currently. They're actually not hiring that much, I hear, currently. But that was for me. So the process was about 5 years. If you discount COVID out of it, will probably take a year and a half away. By far the hardest training you'll do, the most intense and the fastest pace, will be the airline type rating course on your jet. The PPL is the hardest because it's new information. The airline stuff is new information, plus it's very fast. They don't, time is money in an airline, so you'll have to do everything to a nice high standard, and you got to learn it quite quick. But that's where having your sim partner and friends who are also in the airline with you, doing training sessions. If you have a sim at home, practice at home. That's where it really helps. The sim shines for that. They give you a poster at the airlines to practice flows. I never touched it once. I would hop in VR and I would do my flow in the sim. Just so much easier that way. I can actually use my hands and all that. So that's my little story there, Duck. Hopefully it wasn't too much of a ramble on, as Led Zeppelin says, but start dimming this stuff down a little bit as we're going to be landing at nighttime here shortly. I do like a little bit of flood. Perfect. Jupiter says, I'm in awe of seeing all the flight hardware, Winwing and Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm in awe of seeing all the flight hardware. Yeah, it's Winwing. I'll type it in your chat for you. Winwing. And then if you look up MSFS 2020 is the flight simulator. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Winwing. There you go. I'm gonna go turn my light off really quickly. Stand by. Before you buy any hardware though, Jupiter, I would caution, or not caution, I would say get in an order of things. First, get the plane you want to fly. So figure out what you want to fly. This is an Airbus 320 made by Fenix. So this costs already $50, $60 to buy the plane. The sim is $50, $60 to buy the sim. So find the airplane you want to buy first, then start tailoring your setup towards it. So if you're going to fly an Airbus, you're going to need a side stick. If you're going to fly, my light here, if you're going to fly, you know, CRJ, Boeing type aircraft, Cessna type aircraft, you're going to want a yoke, which is like the steering wheel type of thing. The Airbus has an actual joystick on the side, which is uncommon for a lot of airliners and a lot of airplanes. Oh, I just took the tray table out. 2997. So that's what I would recommend, is find the airplane you want to fly first, and then once you found the airplane you want to fly, tailor your setup towards that, if that makes sense. Let's get rid of this tray table here. Don't know where the click spot is. There we go. So that's what I recommend. I have a bit of a Frankenstein setup because I fly a bunch of different airplanes. So if you fly the 737, for example, Winwing sells a 737 autopilot panel. I would also look into PU Air Korea, as if you want multiple different airplanes, they sell a hot swappable FMS, which means this faceplate comes off. Actually, I can show you right here. So this, guys, is the PU Air Korea FMS. This is with the CRJ faceplate. I don't have an Airbus faceplate. I just use my Winwing one when I use when I fly Airbus. Speed brakes are out. Yeah, I know. I'll get rid of those. Anyways, if you have the PU Air Korea and you want to fly, let's say the MD-11 or whatever else they support, you take off the faceplate, you get the other one you have, and you plop it on, and it's a one-fits-all FMS. So really love the PU Air Korea as well. You can't really go wrong. If you're building like an Airbus setup and that's all you're going to fly, or, you know, whatever, be my guest, and or, you know, you should get the Winwing stuff. But if you kind of want a hot swappable and fly multiple airplanes, the PU Air Korea is a very good option for that too. Now, in saying that, you can map this to other airplanes other than the Airbus, but it's sometimes just cooler to have the actual plane that's supposed to be used, if you know what I mean. Now down here you can't see it, but let me see if I can show you. I'm using the, you know, I'll just dip it like this. I'm using the Honeycomb Bravo throttle with a ProDesk Sim CRJ throttle kit. That throttle kit only works for the Honeycomb Bravo throttle. And if you would like to buy anything from ProDesk Sim, I do have a discount code down below that can be used for that. Let me just try to fix this camera because I just kind of ruined it as best I can there. I'll have to work on that later, but that was very helpful. I'm starting my PPL soon. Do you think I should do all the written tests first and then do all the flying later? Some schools make you do that. I don't like that idea, just because it's easier to learn. It's easy to remember answers and do a written test, but it's better if you can learn the information as you're flying. If you're just learning information and you haven't applied it, it doesn't really stick in your brain. But if you can learn the info and use it, is where it really sticks and you'll actually understand it. So some schools want you to write it first, some schools don't. I would recommend trying to do it while flying. Let's do 10,000 feet here before the airplane, or 250 here before 10,000 feet. If you guys don't know, there's an international basically speed rule. Below 10,000 feet, you have to be 250 knots. In real life, it gets broken quite a bit, but you know, a few knots here, a few knots there. Sweet, just made that. Looking good, looking for below 9,000 at Mittig, which is going well. Let's get flight recorder up and online. And we'll also get G's online as well. And you know what? Let me put my charts to night so I don't blind you guys on the vertical stream there. There we go. There we go. That looks better. Much better. Thank you all for subscribing and sticking around. Really appreciate you guys. And what we're basically doing is we're just on this vertical VNAV descent. Put a little bit of spoiler in there. And we're taking it down to, basically it's a left downwind for the most part. And we're just going to fly parallel. We're going to be landing this way. So we're going to fly this way, descend, slow down, turn around, and land. And Titus, we're going to be below 4,210 knots. Because we're in vertical navigation mode, the airplane should auto decelerate to 210 for us, as it's using the auto throttle system. The plane I fly in real life, the CRJ-900, doesn't have an auto throttle. We have to do all this stuff manually, but it really keeps you on your toes. And if you get the RJ as a first jet or a Challenger or a like one of the old Citations, it really prepares you for jet flying. All this stuff is, you know, you're more learning automation once you get to a 320 or 350, all those bigger stuff. The smaller stuff with less automation will be much more work to fly and much harder. It's kind of like what I like to say. The CRJ is like swinging a baseball bat with a weighted baseball bat, and it prepares you really well if you want to move on to a 320, whatever else, because then everything else is just, you know, an unweighted baseball bat. You can stay at that weighted baseball bat your whole life if you'd like to. There's a lot of people that stay on the RJ their entire career and they love it. But if you do get an RJ or, you know, an old Falcon, I actually think the Falcon has a auto throttle, but any of those older kind of jets, it really does prepare you well. Most of them don't have VNAV, no auto land, no auto throttle, no auto brake. Right, so you're doing all this stuff semi in your head, but also with the advisory VNAV feature that is in the airplane. And we do Cat 3As with our CRJs, and they're all hand flown by the captain because it requires a HUD. Alright, well I should have thrown my seatbelts on through 10. We'll do the approach checks now here. We'll grab the seatbelts. We'll grab our landing lights as well. Give them a double chime. 2997, set left, center, and right. Cross check with the ATIS. All right, you can see the airplane is nicely slowing down there to 200 and it's actually went to its approach speed. We're not going to do that because it wants 210, as you can see at TIDIS. So we're going to select 210 knots. You can also see our vertical path here is popped up as well. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go direct Lana shortly. Once we're closer to 3,000 feet, I'm going to go direct Lana, and we're going to arm the approach button as well. It's a bad time to go to the bathroom, but unfortunately we're below 10 and we got to land this thing now. There's Montreal on the right hand side. And sorry if you hear my chair, I'm just squeaking that across so I can be set up to properly fly this thing here. We're going to go flap 1. Notice this vertical path, we're getting below it, which is what we want to do. That's all great. And we're going to press direct Lana. We'll insert that, looks good. And we're going to go ahead and click our approach button as well. Approach nav, alt final has been selected for us. Guess I should be on CTAF frequency, shouldn't I here? 19.9 for Montreal. And we're just barely descending here, guys, because we're just waiting to for that vertical deviation bar to come nicely down for us. Montreal traffic, Air Canada 1333, turning final, runway 24 right via Lana, Montreal. All right, we're going to descend around 800 a minute. We're just going to descend down to 3,000 feet. And we're going to keep it fast till that vertical deviation bar comes back in as well. What you guys can do is get your landing rate predictions in the chat. Feel free to predict what you like. I don't fly Airbus all that much, and it's my first landing in 2020 in an Airbus in months, basically, at this point. We should have put our auto brakes to low, forgot that. And we'll go ahead and arm our spoilers as well. Too busy talking to you guys. I love interacting with the chat, so I'm going to miss things here and there. But again, I don't fly 320 real world, so if you want to see real world operations, go watch V1 Simulations. He's a real world 320 guy. You guys all come here for the RJ, and I can't fly it right now because I don't have a yoke. So we'll fly other airplanes. If I'm not mistaken, you can see our predictive top of descent here is just before Ahmedi, and that's when our vertical line is going to come down here. It's going to capture, and we're going to have final be taken over as well there. There we go, flap 2. Okay, vertical nav is alive. We'll go gear down. Manage speed. Final approach is captured. And now the airplane's going to descend and follow this glide path, and it's also going to follow this lateral path, both left and right, and both up and down. We're gonna go flap 3. I've got to wait a little bit actually on that one. There's a runway in sight already, so we'll call it visual landing from out here. Don't have to call it at the minimum, so you can call it far ahead here. We'll go flap 3. Montreal traffic, American, correction, Air Canada 1333, 10 mile final, 24 right, Montreal. We're gonna go flap to our full setting. Yannick says 348. You didn't put a minus there, so we're going to land at positive 348 per second. Feet per second? That's insane. That's a slam and a half. Do we do a wee bounce? No, hopefully not. All right, let's go ahead and start our recorder. And 3,000 feet is set for the missed approach, so that's all good to go as well. Feet per minute? Oh, cool. No, I'm just joking around. Now, usually in real life, when it's this late at nighttime, it's usually your third flight of the day. You usually keep the autopilot on a little bit longer than than you would on a nice visual day, just so you can monitor a bit more. You're usually, you know, a little tired. In a real life experience, it's very rare that this will be your first flight of the day. Usually you've done 2 before this. Oh, starting to get some stuttering coming down near Montreal here. Let's see if I stop the recording, if that stuttering goes away. It's still stuttering. That's not cool. You can see if you watch the land here, it kind of jumps and stutters a bit. The engines are also going, Don't really know if they really do that in real life. I would doubt it. And we'll turn the flight recorder back on. Autopilot disengaged. There's pappies on this runway. In real life, there is no pappies, and the chart agrees with that as well. I've landed on this runway many times in real world. I've actually let MK Studios know about this, so hopefully they can address that. It's not a major problem, but it's technically not realistic, so yeah, we're stable at 500. But this is an LPV, guys, a localized performance vertical guidance approach, and it's basically a GPS ILS is the easiest way to think about that. And we're probably going to get some beautiful stutters right as the wheels touch down.
100.
Okay, I didn't hear a 50 in there, but there we go. 191. We did get a wee bounce. Look at that. I don't know why we heard that dook dook dook. But anyways, we are down. Reversers deployed. The auto brakes are doing their thing. And we'll go manual braking. The next one's coming up here. Go ahead and stow the reversers. And we're going to follow this green line, and we're just going to exit. Oh, hope there should be a green line. But guess not. Here comes Bravo 4, I believe it is. Alright, we're going to start adding some brakes. I definitely have to make my rudders a lot less sensitive. They're very sensitive right now. I'm using the Winwing rudder pedals, by the way, guys, as well. The Winwing Skywalker pedals. You guys know, if you've watched my streams before, I don't tack shit at the gate and shut down. I can't be bothered, really, to be honest with you. So we're going to go right into the replay. We'll do a couple at night. We'll do a couple in the day. It's going to have some bugs and too low terrains and all this kind of stuff. That's the computer saying no more guidance. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that. Sweet, sweet, sweet. So again, there's going to be some warnings going on, but the actual landing has been recorded. Some of the features of the spoilers, and you're going to see some weird stuff happening. But that's just the replay. Bring that back for you guys. Let's go ahead and do... Let's do some daytime one, huh? So you guys can actually see what happened. There you go. Turn off my cameras. Pretty crap, to be honest with you, but hey, I'll take it. There's just a little bit of lift left in that wing, that's all. I love chase plane, man. I can't wait till chase plane comes to the trying to get rid of those spoilers on landing here. I can't wait till it comes to the 2024. I'd like the spoilers to go away, please. Yeah, actually wasn't all that bad. I will definitely take that. Again, guys, I've said this many streams, but rear world ops, we're not looking for the most, you know, the grease and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's not really a game. So rear world, we're just looking for touchdown zone, a nice stable approach, and, you know, a nice stop. Don't cook the brakes up, don't take too much runway up, and then we just exit off and go to the hotel. That's basically it. I'll give you guys some wing views, and then we're gonna call it basically there. Well, I'm gonna put some music on, guys. Leave you with some reviews or some replays. I hope you've enjoyed this so far, and I appreciate all you guys stopping by. I'm just fixing the vertical stream here a bit so it looks a bit better. And we'll see all you guys in the next stream. Thanks to the channel members. Thanks to the channel partners. See ya.